Welcome back to Redshift Media. On this video, we'll dive into the world of photo editing software. Today's video should give you some ideas on where to start if you're wondering what software is available to help you start editing. We're going to be talking about programs that are designed for you as the photographer to have creative control of your images, not AI. There's a lot of software out there for the computer and mobile device that promises amazing editing power with only a few clicks, and AI-driven apps can be pretty impressive. But today, I'm only going to be talking about programs that put the editing workflow fully under your control. When you're just starting out and not sure if you want to spend a lot of money on an editor, a good choice is to use free software or one with a trial period, then move on to a paid option when the free software doesn't meet your needs anymore. I made a lot of mistakes when starting out, and I was buying software left and right without really understanding how it worked or even if it was too much for me at my level of experience. Hopefully, today's guide will help you start where you stand and not break the budget. So let's start with the basics. So basic photo editors are perfect for simple tweaks like cropping, resizing, adjusting brightness, contrast, and some examples of free photo editors are Microsoft Photos for Windows and Mac OS Preview for Apple computers. These two options are installed as part of the core software that came with your computer, and they're totally free to use. Now, while they don't have all the bells and whistles of paid products, they do allow you to do simple things like resize, crop, add text, and perform basic color edits. Most photographers, though, will quickly outgrow the limited options these offer and will want more control over their images. So, our next recommendation offers just that. Adobe Photoshop Elements is a paid program that would still be considered a basic photo editor, despite being the most advanced in this category. Of the three so far, it's the most capable, but it does cost $100. Now, you can use this with no subscription for 3 years. After that, you need to either sign up for it again or move on to a more advanced version like Photoshop. Even though Photoshop Elements is considered a basic editor, it does utilize some powerful time-saving tools that help you with edits. And more importantly, it introduces layers, which are a powerful tool you'll want to understand as you advance in your photography. It's more complex and feature-rich than the free basic software options, so consider it carefully when choosing which editor to start with. It's in our basic category because it isn't as full-featured as our pro options, which are up next. For more advanced editing, you need more advanced software. These products would be considered professional-grade editors. Software in this category offers a vast array of features that can help you create stunning images. The granddaddy of photography is, of course, Adobe Photoshop. It's become somewhat of a cultural icon. When people talk about photos being edited, they say it's been photoshopped, don't they? Now, early on, this was one of the most powerful offerings available to photographers, and since it's become the de facto editing program for professionals and amateurs alike. It's also by far the most expensive, though, requiring a software subscription either monthly or annually. For all of my tutorials on the channel, we will be using Photoshop and other Adobe products, since that's what I built all of my workflows and best practices around. Now, this isn't to say that you have to use Adobe products, but you will find most photography resources center around these products even after all these years. There are excellent paid alternatives to Photoshop, and even completely free ones, so don't feel like you have to live in the Adobe family of products. For example, Affinity Photo is a fantastic editing platform that I've personally used and found it to be just as useful as Photoshop. The best part is, after the trial period, it's only $69 to purchase with no subscription fees. One drawback to this low cost is that you do have to pay separately for each operating system. So if you have a Mac and a Windows machine and you want to use it on your iPad as well, you'll need to buy separate licenses for each. Now, millions of people do use Affinity Photo, and it truly is a professional editing platform. And like Adobe, it has a loyal group of fans that use it and nothing else. The only reason I don't use Affinity exclusively is because the specific workflows I have in Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop for my real estate photography are pretty well set in the Adobe family. Otherwise, I'd likely as not use Affinity for everything I do because there's no subscription needed after purchase. If you're looking for free software options, GIMP is an open source editing platform that's been around for years and it's extremely powerful. A lot of beginning photographers start with GIMP because of its free cost and its ability to do much, if not most, of what paid programs like Photoshop and Affinity do. Now, I would encourage you to start with a free program like GIMP. Then, as your photography skills increase, move to a platform like Adobe or Affinity if you feel GIMP is no longer meeting your needs. Now, each of these platforms ultimately do the same things, just with different user interfaces and processes. Photography can be an extremely expensive hobby, and software is a big part of that expense. But you don't always have to pay for the top of the line option when you're just starting to learn. A lot of concepts we'll talk about on this channel are basic enough that any photo editor in the professional category will allow you to make edits to layers and colors, use basic AI to remove unwanted objects, create masks, and other advanced editing functions. So don't feel like you have to make a huge investment to get going. For my real estate business, Adobe works best and allows me to create deliverables quickly. So the cost is really a non-issue with me because it's a business expense. But for literally any other type of photography I do, Affinity or GIMP would work equally well. This wouldn't be a good overview of editing software if we didn't talk about online and mobile photo editors as well. If you're on the go or you don't want to install software, online photo editors are a great option. Web and mobile-based tools offer many of the same features as desktop software, but without the need for a download. Now, Adobe offers web-based versions of their core editing programs like Photoshop and Lightroom, which are a great choice because you've already paid for the subscription, and they're included with the price of that subscription. These are available for Android and iOS devices and can be used in place of their desktop counterparts. My wife prefers to use Adobe Lightroom Mobile on her phone after she pulls images from her Canon R7 because it allows her to quickly edit the raw images she takes and then post to her social media channels right from her phone. She doesn't want or need the more powerful and complex options that the desktop versions provide. I find while I'm traveling, I use Photoshop and Lightroom on my iPad more than I use the desktop versions, because I'm usually doing quick edits for sharing rather than more extensive and complex edits for printing or selling. When I get home, however, I do my serious work on the desktop versions of the software. Affinity has full mobile-based options for iOS and Android as well, and boasts full compatibility with their desktop software, so you can start on one device and finish on another. Canva, Pixlr, and Photor are also fantastic web-based programs that include templates for quickly getting things done, as well as tutorials to help you get you started. On mobile devices, programs like Snapseed and Apple's native photo app offer excellent tools for the beginning photographer. And in a lot of ways, these are really powerful programs. I use the photo edit tools on my iPhone a lot, although typically just to throw a quick edit on before posting to Instagram. Now, the Apple editing tools offer a surprising number of useful editing functions like saturation, clarity, contrast, sharpness, and more. You may be able to start out with mobile photography editing options exclusively. Snapseed is another powerful editing app that's for people who want to make quick edits on the go, and it's been around forever. Google owns the platform, and it's been available for over 13 years at this point. The best part is it's free. There are a crazy amount of Snapseed tutorials on the internet, so it's a great choice for on-the-go edits as well. So with so many options available, how do you choose the right software for you? You have to consider your level of skill, your budget, and the specific types of edits you want to make. If you're a beginner, a basic photo editor or online tool might be enough to get your feet wet at low or no cost. For more advanced users, though, a professional-grade software like Photoshop or Affinity is the way to go because there's endless tutorials online to help you make the most of these platforms. And the sky is literally the limit with what they can do. The main thing to remember with photo editing software is it needs to help you achieve your creative vision. If you have a style of photography that you like, it's a good idea to ask questions about what software the creator uses rather than flailing around trying to recreate the wheel on your own. Now, this could be a great way to get started with a style and then experiment with what your vibe will be. What works for one photographer may be a complete frustration for others, so take things slowly as you learn. For you, a mobile editor or a web-based editor may be all you need to bring your vision to life. Like I've said though, try the free versions or a trial version before diving in and racking up charges for software that you might not be able to use at your level of experience. So thank you for joining me on the channel, and if you like what you see, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe so I know that we're headed in the right direction together. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.